We're in the middle of a fitness optimization epidemic. Every day, you're bombarded with conflicting advice. One expert says that fasting is essential, another claims that it's completely useless. One influencer swears by training to failure, while another is going to insist that it's counterproductive. The supplement industry launches new, game-changing products weekly, and there's always a revolutionary diet promising what the last 5 couldn't deliver. And that's not a coincidence. Confusion sells. Supplement companies also don't profit from finding that one solution that works. They profit from convincing you to rely on their products every month, and that you're gonna need the next best thing, and then the next, and the next. And here's what's truly fascinating. The science actually contradicts this entire optimization culture. A comprehensive review published in the International Journal of Behavioral Nutrition and Physical Activity found something that might shock you. Researchers discovered that fitness interventions focusing on fewer behavior changes were consistently more effective than actually the complex multi-component approaches. In other words, the people who make the simplest changes stick with them for longer and see better results than those who try to optimize everything. By the way, if you want a personalized simple plan that actually sticks, there's a link below. Okay, now think about this for a second. The fitness industry is pushing you to track more, optimize more, and complicate more, while the research clearly shows that simplicity leads to better outcomes. And this isn't just my opinion. This is literally backed by peer-reviewed science. This relentless pursuit of optimization isn't just emptying your wallet, it's actively sabotaging your results. The fitness industry has created this sort of perfect storm where more information leads to less action. I've seen it countless times. People who know everything about optimal training splits, nutrient timing, recovery protocols, yet they can't actually maintain consistency for more than like a few weeks. They're sort of trapped in this cycle of starting and stopping, constantly second guessing their approach and never actually building the momentum needed for a real transformation. What's worse is that this optimization mindset creates this psychological burden where anything less than perfect feels like failure. Wait, you still do push-pull legs? What is this, 2018? Everybody knows that upper-lower 4 days a week is the best for muscle growth. Don't barbell bench press. You're leaving gains on the table. You should be using a chest press machine with a 3-second negative. Millions of people who could be making steady progress are instead just paralyzed by perfectionism. And in this video, we'll explore why cutting through that noise and just doing less might actually be the key to finally transforming your body. And throughout this video, I'll reveal the counterintuitive principles that have helped over 100 of my clients transform their bodies without actually falling into this perfection trap. You're gonna discover when optimization actually matters versus when it's just noise, how to build a sustainable approach that works with your psychology instead of against it, and then the hidden costs of chasing optimal that no one really talks about. That completely changed my results and that I've never discussed publicly before. It might be exactly what you needed to hear to break through your current plateau. Let me tell you a quick story. A while back, 2 younger guys, 17 and 18, came to me for a lifting program. They had been following me for a while and they asked me to build something that just, did whatever it took for me to get to my physique. We hopped on some calls, I dug into their goals, I explained that what I really offer is coaching, which is like a full package and not just a lifting program, and I'll explain why that distinction matters later. But they were young, they were broke, they kind of reminded me a lot of myself, so I just spent a day putting together a workout plan. Nothing gimmicky, just the same basic principles that actually worked for me, but just tailored to their time constraints and their current experience level. They ran it the next day, and then I get this long message back from them telling me that they were actually disappointed. Their exact words: the workouts felt quite elementary. Yes, they really said that. Now keep in mind that these guys were maybe 170 pounds. They had been lifting for maybe a year or 2 tops, and they thought that I was gonna give them some god tier, mythical, Instagram guru style training split with optimizations that would just blow their fucking minds. They wanted every set to include some sort of pass failure technique. They wanted every exercise to hit muscles from angles NASA hasn't even discovered yet, fully expecting to come out like they've been exercised through muscle stimulation. But here's the truth. Even if I had built them some crazy program like that, it wouldn't have mattered. And here's why. 2 reasons. They didn't have enough training experience to actually even utilize a workout plan like that. And more importantly, these dudes were like seniors in high school. You know what they really needed? They needed to stop skipping workouts throughout the week. They needed to stop going out every other night. And they needed to get more than 5 hours of sleep or treating a meat lover's pizza as their post-workout protein source. They were chasing complexity when they hadn't even earned consistency. And this is exactly why just getting a training or an eating plan by itself without the coaching aspect is not likely gonna fix your whole problem. You really need to focus to fix that shit that matters most. And before I move on, the crazy thing is that I was actually doing a very similar version of the workout that I built them like a couple weeks before, and it absolutely killed me. So I just flat out told them, I find these workouts pretty hard. If you didn't, it's probably not the program. It's your execution. So that mindset, looking for some mythical routine to shortcut the work is everywhere. You ever met the guy who's obsessed with fitness theory but doesn't even look like they lift? They can explain the most optimal way to target your vastus medialis oblique on Bulgarian split squats, but they can't follow a workout plan for longer than 2 weeks. This is what I call analysis paralysis. You get so caught up trying to find the perfect plan that you never even give any plan enough time to work. I've been there too. There was a time where I was so obsessed with optimization. I'd go from YouTube to Reddit to PubMed, convinced that the next article was just going to unlock some sort of cheat code. I'd start one program, I would second guess it, try another, spend more time researching than actually training. Sound familiar? Now, don't get me wrong, optimization can matter, but here's where it actually moved the needle. Progressive overload. Are you lifting more weight over time? Are you doing more reps? Are you controlling the same weight but with better form? That's what matters. When I was their age, I didn't have nearly as good of workouts as the ones that I built them. The truth is, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing back then. I was just doing whatever the hell gave me a pump, and I probably logged more curls than leg work for the entire year, and my quads paid the price. Yeah, that was really me as a senior in high school. No Photoshop, just wow. That ratio ain't doing me any justice. But I still got better results than them because I was consistent, I trained with intensity, and I had a really simple goal for every workout. Just do a little bit more than last time. Even if your split isn't optimal, if you're gradually doing more, you're building muscle. Most fitness influencers would have you believe that you need 15 different exercises just for your biceps. Meanwhile, Arnold built his arms with basically 2 movements and spent the rest of his time actually lifting instead of filming those top 5 secret bicep exercises that you've never seen videos. But here's where it gets worse. This must be optimized mindset doesn't just waste your time, it actually messes with your head, because once you believe that there's a perfect way, everything less than that is just going to feel like failure. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack next. So if analysis paralysis stops people from starting, perfectionism is what makes you quit. You probably felt like this before. You miss one workout, you miss one meal, you sleep like shit one night, and suddenly your brain goes, well, this week's ruined. I'll just start fresh Monday. Like, why is Monday the universal reset button for people who half-ass their goals? And remember, this was me at one time. We don't treat anything else in life like this. Imagine if you bombed one work meeting and decided, that's it, I'm quitting my job, I'll just reapply Monday. Or if you stuttered during one sentence on a date and just gave up, walked out. It's only in fitness where this all or nothing logic feels normal. But it's not discipline, it's just disorder disguised as high standards. And there's literally research backing this up. A 2023 study in healthcare found that athletes with high levels of what they call negative perfectionism, aka that all or nothing mindset, they actually struggled with low self-esteem, confidence, and motivation to stay consistent. So ironically, chasing perfect standards can actually be the very thing that makes you quit early. Now, don't get me wrong, optimization can definitely be beneficial, but not when it becomes your coping mechanism for inconsistency. The real skill isn't maximizing everything, it's identifying what keeps you consistent. Here's what I've noticed coaching clients for years. The people who actually transform don't have perfect diets. They don't always even hit their macros, and they definitely don't PR every week. But they do one thing most people don't. They understand their own friction points, and then they build around that. And that's the part most training plans don't actually account for. Most plans are optimized on paper, but they fall apart in real life. A good plan fits into your life, and a bad one fights against it. One client of mine was stuck in that perfection loop, just tracking every gram, obsessing over his training split, trying to tweak his supplements weekly, and he wasn't even progressing. I had him stop tracking entirely for a month. I told him, just hit your protein and stay consistent with 3 full body workouts. Try to drink some caffeine to suppress your appetite a little, but eat whenever you're naturally hungry. That's it. He lost 10 pounds that month, and he felt the best that he had in years. And get this, he started enjoying training again. Then we could actually start programming in some more optimization to his diet, his sleep, and his workouts. But over optimizing everything, especially in the beginning, made it feel like just a chore to live his life and super hard to stay consistent. So if you want to optimize something, optimize your consistency enablers. Ask yourself this: what's the one thing that I can do that if I do it consistently, it will make everything else easier? That's your cheat code, not the next magical macro split or hypertrophy protocol. Now, if fitness worked like a vending machine, put in more effort, get out more results, you wouldn't be watching this, but it doesn't. In fact, at a certain point, more effort actually just means more confusion, more burnout, and most likely worse results. Let's break down where that tipping point actually is. Most people don't plateau because they're lazy. They plateau because they're pouring effort into things that barely matter, and all they get for it is more frustration. Let's talk about diminishing returns, the part of fitness that nobody likes to admit exists. You could be doing everything Training 6 days a week, taking a stack of recovery supplements, tracking your HRV, watching your rest times like a hawk, and you could still feel flat, drained, and stuck because your body doesn't care how much effort you throw at it. It cares whether you're giving it what it actually needs, and sometimes what it actually needs is less. A 2024 randomized trial tested cold plunges and massage guns, two of the most hyped recovery tools against just, laying down and resting. Guess what worked better? Nothing. All groups recovered the same within 72 hours, and the cold plunge group actually performed worse the next day. So yeah, sleep, chill time, and a short walk. These are going to do way more for you than shocking your nervous system in an ice barrel while blasting Andrew Huberman clips. This study also helps demonstrate the 80-20 rule in fitness. Roughly 80% of the results come from only 20% of your actions. Training with focus 3 to 5 times per week, sleeping enough, eating well, managing stress. Everything after that is honestly minor. And honestly, chasing that tiny percentage often backfires and pulls attention away from what's actually effective. Most people fall into the trap of doing more just to feel like they're doing something. But what they're really doing is just throwing effort at the wrong targets, like fine-tuning your gym playlist before you've even ever stepped foot in the gym, or chasing a fat burner pill with a liter of Sprite. So when does optimization even make sense? In recovery, it's not about stacking strategies, it's about locking in the fundamentals first. The basics are simple. Sleep, walking, managing stress, taking your foot off the gas before your nervous system taps out. If you're crushing caffeine, running on 5 hours of sleep, doom scrolling until 2 a.m. and then wondering why your recovery sucks, yeah, it's not the supplement's fault. More isn't better. Smarter, simpler, and repeatable is what actually works. And that starts with giving your body a chance to actually respond to the work that you're already doing. So far, we've covered how optimization creates paralysis, burnout, and the illusion that complexity equals results. But what if I told you that the best progress I've ever seen came from doing less? Let's break down the minimally effective approach and why it works so damn well. You don't need more hacks, you need fewer distractions. If you've been overthinking your training, burned out by complexity, or just feel like you're stuck despite working hard, here's the truth that no one wants to hear. The most effective approach is usually the simplest. Not the sexiest, not the trendiest, just the most repeatable. We've reached a point where if your workout plan wasn't shit out by Jeff Nippert or Dr. Mike Israetel himself, then people think that it's not going to be good enough. Side note, no hate, I absolutely love these two creators. You've got supersets inside of drop steps, you've got tempo prescriptions broken down to the 10th of a second, and activation drills that are going to take longer than the actual lift. It's like someone tried to turn a warm-up into a CrossFit event. Here's what actually matters. Just pick movements that train your target muscles with high tension and full range. Train close to failure, do it consistently. That's it. No quad focused tibialis rotation emphasis, Bulgarian split squat modifications. Just ask yourself, can I do this weekly? Can I train hard and can I recover from it? If the answer is yes, that's the program. Honestly, same thing goes for food. Most people don't need more advanced strategies, they just need fewer moving parts. Here's what actually matters. Calories, protein, consistency. Not if your almond butter was sprouted on the right lunar cycle. Just hit your calories, hit the protein, repeat that for 90 days, see how far you go. But then this is where most optimization advice completely falls apart, because if your routine only works when life is perfect, when you're sleeping great, when you have no social plans and you never travel, then it's not a routine, it's a fantasy. That means that your training should adjust when your schedule's packed. Your nutrition should work at restaurants, and if you feel like you need a vacation from your routine sucks. The real secret isn't finding the most advanced plan, it's finding the simplest version that you can execute not on your best days, but on your worst days too. Because when simple gets done, it beats complex that gets skipped. A 2014 meta-analysis in sports medicine found that people training just 2 to 3 times per week made the same gains as those training 5 times as long as total volume was matched. More days didn't lead to better results, just more stressed, more friction, and more burnout. Remember those 2 guys that I mentioned earlier? They didn't fail because they didn't try. They failed because they were chasing perfection before they had found a foundation, and they're not alone. Optimization feels productive until it becomes the reason that you never follow through. I made another video breaking down what actually matters: structure, sleep, stress management, and how to stop skipping the basics. This video will show you exactly what you should be focusing on to see results faster and avoid plateaus. Remember, you don't need a better formula. You need fewer distractions and a clearer focus. And if you want help with that, something actually personalized to your lifestyle, then you know where to find me. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Peace out.